Welcome back to the Forex Fortress. Let's prepare for another follow-up on the short-term time frames, but with the monthly closing just in 2 days now. Actually, 2 days left to trade, including today, that is. It's going to be a big focus on the monthly, of course, as it's going to really be driving the more long-term pieces of price action. And as always, we'll start off with good old Dixie right here. I should also let you know that we actually are live on Twitch right now if you want to come over and hang out. But for right now, Dixie on the monthly is going to have a chance to close below the 200 exponential moving average on the monthly for the first time since all the way back in September 2014. This is going to be a big deal if that does indeed happen. And while I probably would be looking for a pullback at some point to just below about 91 bucks, exactly where the 200 exponential moving average is on the monthly, I would be looking for that to be very likely a major sell. And the long-term target will be the 200 moving average right here, and that is going to be on a long-term scale. So we're talking about maybe like a half year to a year out. It's likely to take its time. Of course, this was all built upon the fact that we did have the big bad breakdown off of our prior pivot level at 92.25 right here. That coincided with a death cross. So all of that, not looking too damn good as it is right now. But in the shorter term time frames, are we more likely to play off a bounce off this level once again? Probably yes on the short-term time frames. Again, I do think that in the month of January, we will see Dixie have a bit of a pullback here and bounce back up somewhere around, maybe just below about 91 bucks. But that very likely does turn into a sell, assuming that, this monthly does close below that pivot point to begin with, which is looking incredibly likely here, again, with just 2 days left to go. So unless if there's some sort of World War III going on or something like that, I probably wouldn't, I probably wouldn't hold my breath for that. But hey, we've all seen crazier things happen, but mostly in cryptocurrency land. So with that in mind, we'll go down the old list here and see what is up. Let me go to my Forex list. There we go. And start off with Aussie Dollar. And Aussie Dollar yesterday, I believe we had a little bit of a short-term upwards bias targeting the prior high right here. That target was obviously met. And then off to the races once again, another breakout to the upside, of which we didn't really talk about yesterday what happens after that level, but looking at it right here, the measure move target was hit, back on it, and weekly is looking pretty damn good, still with the long-term target of 77.65 region, and on the monthly probably guns for the 200 exponential moving average overall, but that's going to be more long-term, so this would not be short-term, but based off the monthly, I would be still looking for 77.60-ish region to get hit, and then maybe a little bit of a pullback back there, and then likely another continuation phase over the next few months, so that's, thinking way the fuck down the line, which I typically don't like to do, but since it is, since we are getting close to the monthly closure here, it is time to kind of prepare. Moving on to Cad Dollar, what do we have? We got 78.20. I believe yesterday we were looking for that move up to this horizontal right here. We got that, currently selling a little bit off of it. However, I don't look at this as problematic as it stands. I would look at it as problematic if it comes back down and violates this horizontal right here, right around 78 cent even, in fact. So if that area does get violated with the 4-hour delta closure below there, I would look for another move down all the way to about 77.76, but until that happens, I'm really not looking for that move to happen. I mean, this is momentum to the upside on just about all time frames, and I would be looking for this deeper level to get hit, 78.5 over time, and for right now, probably just trade a little bit sideways below this level, and then maybe around next month open, we do see that next extension move. Looking at the monthly right here, the 89 exponential moving average is very interesting because it is actually coming in with our long-term highs, actually going all the way back to April 2015, getting this macro high, and potentially getting this macro high as well. So again, long-term macro style, we are still in the context of a major downtrend as long as we are respecting that level, and it is being respected as it is right now. But that would imply short-term and medium-term bullishness, obviously. So just like Aussie Dollar, short-term, a little bit of upside, and then we'll come back to it probably in like a month. Swiss franc dollar, what do we see right here? Another reapproach of the prior high. Nice one. There you go. And what do we see on the short-term time frames? Short-term probably does actually trade back down towards 112.80-ish region, but I would be looking for a bounce there. Overall, this one is very constructive. One of the better actors for the more prolonged time, especially on the monthly right here. This is a clear breakout, and I would be still targeting that 114.15 area region right here, and probably even long-term it will take out that, but I'd like to see that, that area get played off at first, and then we have deeper targets, much deeper. I mean, that's going to be a melt up once that area is taken, as that's going to be the big bad one. This is all going to be considered accumulation right here. In fact, it already is with the advent of this price action right here. That kind of is your confirmation. So more or less good coins, good fiat currencies get rewarded in this one, and looking good. Anyways, moving on to euro dollar, my favorite fucking one that I absolutely hate. But I'm still looking for that 123.5 target. This is like the most mad you'll ever see me for hitting an actual target on these things. But uptrend on the 4 hour gets respected. We did get our move back onto the top side of the range yesterday that we were looking for. Now, you know, I'm essentially saying continuation. I know the 200 exponential average is on the monthly right here. However, I don't believe this is a chart with much long-term history. In fact, let's go over to one that I know has a little bit more, which will be right on over here. And yeah, we are clearly above the 200 exponential average. In fact, the next long-term macro target would be your 200 simple moon average, which is probably going to hover somewhere around about 1.25, which would also be a relevant area, just being that is your prior high of January 2018. So long-term, good, I guess. You know, not for me and my fucking US dollars over here living in Finland, but short-term, do we have a little bit of a pullback building up short-term? Maybe yes, if it does. It's still an uptrend right here. It's still continuation overall. If it does want to pull back, 122 and a third would be all right. But I don't even think it's going to do that. I think it's ready to go right here. It's looking very good on a daily, looking like it wants to enter into another melt up phase actually right now. Daily Stokes up, daily RSI hidden bullish divergence back above the exponential moving average, also all in the bullish control zone. Pretty fucking good setup right there. Yeah, I'd say that medium and long term up. Pound yen, what do we see? This one I was wrong on. Yesterday, I do believe I said this one likely coming back down towards 138.75. Got that one wrong, it looks like. What about on the 4 hour? Actually, I'd still stick with that target on a 4 hour, to be honest with you. But daily... Daily's kind of in limbo here. I think this one I'd rather focus on the monthly because I don't really have a strong read for the medium and lower time frames as it is right now. Still working on lower highs, still a macro downtrend, still at ascending triangle technically speaking. So I would be defensive against this one. I think this is the one that I'd rather just kind of take a step off of. If I had to call the short-term time frames, I would be looking for that downside move, the same move that I was looking for yesterday. That was wrong on. Swiss franc, no, we already looked at Swiss franc dollar. What the fuck you doing, Crown? Crown, what the fuck you doing? Let's go over here. So we just did pound yen, I believe it was. Yeah, we just did pound yen. Okay, that looks familiar right there. Pound dollar, what do we see right here? Back up to the top side of the range. I believe we were short-term bullish on this one yesterday. I'd be still bullish on the daily, actually. Any sort of a closure above 135.87, basically this high right here. And I would look for continuation of the next weekly target, which is going to be the 377 exponential average on the weekly, which is all the way at 137.84. And then matching it up with the monthly as well, we do see that's actually pretty much in line with the Cyan 89 exponential average right here. So all of those areas do provide some good what's called confluence, and long term I would be looking for that level to get hit. Short term, probably even some upside here as well. I mean, it's acting pretty damn nicely as it is. Moving on to yen dollar, what do we see? Back onto the prior highs. I forget if we had a call on this one yesterday. I don't specifically remember. I do remember just generally being bullish on this. I think we did. I think we were bullish on this one yesterday, but I would appreciate if you call me out on that one if I'm not correct on it. I do remember saying that the monthly does have a target short as 200 simple. I'd still be looking for that more long term. That is 97.60. And well, I would be looking for a pullback based upon that region, to be fair. Nasdaq, do we have new all-time highs? We have new all-time highs. How crazy is that? How fucking crazy is that? And I suspect that we're gonna have new all-time highs. Well, technically on a 4 hour closing basis, we already do have new all-time highs, but I'd be looking for this one to approach the prior wick high at 12,920, and still long term, I'm looking for this one to fulfill the measured move out of this base all the way from August to November to 13,150 in line with the 2-spot extension right here. Good confluence and that as well. Moving on to, or sorry, not Aussie dollar, gold. Do I still stick with my 1950 target? This one's really been taking its time. I still do actually. I still do. Especially based off the monthly, the way that it's kind of been bought up right here, as long as it's above the 10 simple, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of like sacrilege to be bearish on something that's above all major moving averages, as they do have positive slopes. Doesn't mean that you can't get your downside moves, but in this case right here, I'd be looking for this area to kind of grind it out a little bit more. And I still kind of stick with my weekly targets there at 1950 and 2050, based off weekly Stokes and also weekly RSI, playing out that hidden bullish divergence, looking more or less good there. So I do still stick with that. Anyways, on to Bitcoin. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing right here. Actually, first off, let's go to Caretaker's STC. I want to see exactly what this is showing right now. It is showing the top side of the hourly range right around 28,900. That actually was in line with the 4-spot extension that we identified over here. If I put on my drawing tools, Jesus Christ, man. Okay, we need to go down to a lower term time frame. Yeah, right in line with here, which would also be in line with the measure move off of this little flag formation or ascending triangle formation or whatever the fuck you want to call it formation. Still all the same essentially, and good confluence right there. You know, Gravy asked earlier, did we basically hit that target, and was does that area play off of? You could argue that, yes. I mean, it was a differential of what? We got up to 28,621, and I said 28,805 right there. I mean, very rarely do you see that get played off of. I'm a little bit hesitant to say that that is an actual test and then down. You can maybe say that's front ran. Again, we're kind of arguing minutia here to begin with, but what I would say though is, more importantly, a lot of people were very put off by this last downside move from that 28,600 level all the way down to 27,400. But of course, in the way that we identified earlier on this morning's video, as long as we are closing 4-hour dildos above this 3.618 pivot right here, which is 27,600. I look at that as just another retest of support or broken resistance, now tested as support, and so far so good. And I still remain with the overall target C upside, again, as long as this condition is met. Now, if we do see a 2-hour or 4-hour dildo closure below this level right here, I would look for a quick move down to the 3.414, also in line with the 4-hour 21. And if that area does fail, then we can talk about, another, I don't know, I guess like $600 move down, or sorry, no, that'd be like $1,000 move. Sorry, $800 move to the downside on the actual horizontal that we're based off of priorly. And still, this is the big one for me. As long as Bitcoin's above this level right here, all good essentially in the medium term time frames. However, if this level does get destroyed to the downside, I would look for a quick $2,000, more than $2,000 move all the way down here with a bounce implied at the 2.618 at 24,500. But that likely does fail, and then your actual target's gonna be down here. But until that happens, I still remain with just my short term, medium term, and long term bullishness on Bitcoin. So far so good. We're dealing with big numbers here. I know that $1,000 move or more than $1,000 move can be very off putting, but keep in mind that just get rid of the numbers on the left hand side. The structure remains, and as long as the structure is there, all good, at least in the way that I look at things. And looking at the hourly right here, I mean, it's looking to me like it's getting reaccumulated more than anything, as momentum oscillators do cool back down. And the key in understanding this is not just your Stokes right here, but also your RSI, of which is just kind of hovering around the bullish control zone as price action does kind of float sideways. That's a bullish consolidation, at least in the way that I look at it as it is right now. 12-hour also closed on new highs as well, and I look at that as a bit of a backfill and then back up again. So while I do think that Bitcoin is getting very, 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 very close to its next major high, I do think that it probably has another move up here. I wouldn't be surprised to see not just 29,000 but 30,000 essentially, and then probably sometime in January, maybe even right on the open on January, we'll see a major move to the downside, which will be the next long-term opportunity. Now the monthly, of course, looking incredibly good right here, incredibly fucking good, but again, because we are dealing with big numbers, I mean, Bitcoin come all the way down to 20,000 bucks, which would nearly be an $8,000 move from where we are right now, and it wouldn't even register as far as the actual structure goes. So with that in mind, long-term, I still remain bullish. I will be bullish into, I will have a macro bullish bias January, but I do think that January probably is going to be a pullback month, because you typically do see the same thing in traditional markets, and Bitcoin is heavily correlated with Nasdaq and all the tech sectors, and basically just the world markets in general, because everything trades against the US dollar, and that's probably one of the bigger drivers of all of this to begin with. But as it stands right now, I still am cautiously bullish, I guess, looking higher, maybe even towards 30,000 bucks, and then I want to see it tomorrow in real time, setting up for the monthly closure. So with that said, I do want to wish you well. I do want to wish you the best. And with that said, I salute you, and until next time.